Hello everyone, this is ALX and welcome to the third update in this Titanic paper model ship that I have right here in front of me. And first of all, I want to talk about the redecking I worked since my last update. I talked about the color of the decks being too clear, almost like sand. So right here I show you a comparison of what it was before. I glued all the sheets of decks on top of the existing parts to give them this nice contrast. I think it looks much better when you compare the white of the superstructure to the color of the deck that I have right now. And well, I think the result is much better of what I had before. The color is much more accurate and it gives a much better sense of scale and presence to my eyes. So in this video, I wanted to add a little bit of footage of the process of me actually assembling this thing. So right here, you see me gluing the office's quarters and the bridge to the boat deck. And I'm using simple white glue because it glues great to paper and it gives you the flexibility to correct mistakes and fit the parts better. It gives you time and flexibility. And then I went on to glue the front piece of the bridge, which gives the Titanic its characteristic look. And you can see me here gluing it to the overall assembly. I want to point out that I added some extra detail that it's not part of the original model. You might not be able to see it or just see it barely right there. Those three stanchions, 1, 2, and 3, are very small slices of paper. They took me a while to fit them in the right position, and but I think it was quite worth it because it gives that look of the front of the ship, and I think it's essential for this model at this scale. It's possible to do it, and it really brings this face of the Titanic. Now, let's jump over to the well decks, these places right here on the ship. I said in my last video that, well, I think from the first video actually, that I was going to add some detail to the ship, extra detail that does not come with the original model. And this is where it starts showing. Right here, I have a couple of prints that I made, extra prints of pieces and colors that I need for the details. For example, in the well decks, as you can see here in this comparison again, when you glue the hull pieces, you are left with the interior color of the paper, which is white, but that's not correct for the ship. So I used the printed colors in the sheets I have to add that color to the interior. So as you can see, the hatches for the cargo are colored with this nice red that comes from the you can see here from the superstructure and also on the cranes. Basically, I wrapped the pieces with a small sheet, very small sheet of this color, and it just gives a much better look to it. I mean, the detail really pops. Yeah, that was essential. That's not part of the original model, but I want to add that detail, and I had to do it before adding the cranes. So let me talk about them right now. They're real simple to do. I took my time to do them as best as I could. Because of the scale, I had to make these top pieces thicker, because when I folded the pieces, they were too thin because of the paper size, paper thickness at this scale. So I added some extra layers of thickness to these pieces, and I think they look quite good. Right here, I'm just gluing the cranes, being careful to add the ones to the right positions. There are 8 in total on the ship, 6 on the back and the 2 on the front. So there you have it. That's the well decks and the cranes. Now there's one extra detail that I've been testing around, which is right here. You might have not seen it because it's very small. is this davit. There you go. It's very thin because this was printed in a normal sheet of paper. It has almost no thickness to it, but I'm changing these pieces for the ones that I have right here. There you go. I printed all the davits that I need with some extra ones. If I messed up or anything, there's also extra details that you can see right here for piping also for the funnels right there, benches, and I'll be cutting all these bollards on the forward and aft deck and adding them for extra detail, and I'll be working on vents and that kind of stuff, but that's for future work. Now let's jump to the iconic funnels. I made a lot of tests with different colors, and as you can see here, there are varied types of funnels. I finally decided for this color. I think that one gets the best look out of all of them. Actually, I already have the pieces, which are right here, but I wanted to do the tests for all these. And you can see, well, it's starting to get that Titanic look. I think that color, this one, is just the best one out of all of them. And I'll be working on them further before attaching them to the ship with the details that I showed you before, all the piping that goes around them. So basically, I'm almost done with the original model. Apart from the funnels, I'm missing the lifeboats, but I'm not going to attach them just yet. I haven't built them, I haven't assembled them yet, because I'm going to do this small kind of UV shape where they sit on the deck. I want to add that detail and add the davits before gluing the actual lifeboats. So that's it so far. I mean, it doesn't look like much, but it's been quite some work for this. If you do this model without the detail, you might end up with something just like this, except for the little details of the well decks and the bridge that you already saw. But it looks amazing. I mean, just add the extra funnel and the, of course, oh, well, it's also missing the mast right here. But you get the shape. I mean, you can go as far as you want. You can add rigging later on if you want. But this is amazing. I mean, and the scale, I once again recommend that you size it up, to double it up, the scale, because it adds so much more presence. Imagine this being half of it. I mean, it will be so small. But yeah, just keep tuned if you want to see the process and how I finish and touch up this model. I'm thinking to add the railing and so much more detail right here. Let's see how far can I get. Thank you all for watching and have a great day. Goodbye.